This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast 28-year-old Joshua Miller of Elrea, Ohio. Now, he was recently busted for shoplifting. He entered a store carrying a large knife on his hip, which made the employees suspicious, so they kept an eye on him. And while they kept an eye on him, that's when they watched him as he started stuffing items into his jacket. Now, they called the cops instead of confronting him because of the knife, all right? So when the cops showed up, they found Joshua sitting in his car in the parking lot. And when confronted, he admitted to stealing stuff, and he was placed under arrest. But the reason we're toasting him is because of what he stole. It was about $363.93 worth of merchandise. I'll run through the list. It starts with the Shape-Shifter Anal Inflatable Butt Plug.
Inflatable.
It's inflatable. They only had Shape-Shifter Anal, so I actually had to Google what it was and went to Amazon. It is, in fact, inflatable, which makes a lot of sense.
Pump it up.
Oh, we're not done. He also stole a vibrating ring.
All right, know what that's for.
And then after that, he stole a 3-pack of non-vibrating rings. 3-pack,
that's for.
I like that. The Universal Pump Sleeve.
Is that a penis pump?
It's a penis. It's not the full penis pump. It's an attachment. Again, I had to look this up. I'm like, what's the sleeve? Apparently, it's like an attachment. I guess you put on the bottom.
All right.
So I guess if you're going to use it with friends, he could have a clean one. The urethral sound trainer.
Nice.
I looked that one up.
Begin to tell you.
I'm not entirely sure. I was looked at the image. I believe you actually insert it in that place, and then it does whatever it does.
All right.
Because it kind of looks like a zip tie, if you know what I'm saying. An inflatable G vibrator. I'm not
for the ladies.
But an inflatable vibrator. That's a weird one. And then finally, the, quote, Stay Hard Donut Ring. So again,
use that in baseball.
It's bad to get arrested for shoplifting. It's worse when the cops choose to share what it is that you stole. So again, the Shape-Shifter Inflatable Butt Plug, the vibrating ring, 3-pack of non-vibrating penis rings, Universal Pump Sleeve, the Urethral Sound Trainer, the Inflatable G Vibrator, and of course, the Stay Hard Donut Ring.
Good time.
Joshua Miller.
Have your own frosting.
His parents are proud.
Sounds like he's going to a party in D.C.
So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bitola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Christina. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hi.
Hola. All right, Christina, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you got the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Bite Me.
Bite Me. It's been a while.
All right, Christina, here is your story. A police officer and his family won $40,000 in their lawsuit against a restaurant that served them food tainted by an employee's bodily fluids. A jury ruled in favor of Officer Keith Andrew, whose 2 sons, who then were 4 and 7 years old, were sickened by the food that they ate at the KFC Taco Bell back in October. The younger boy became violently ill with gastroenteritis and dehydration, vomited for hours, was forced to spend time in a hospital. Well, the jury found the restaurant negligent. Workers who saw a fellow employee taint the family's food reported it to management, but the managers did not inform the family. The suit also alleges that Andrew, his wife, and her children were victims of an employee scheme that targeted police officers. Quote, employees maintained special servings of food reserved for officers. That according to the lawsuit. The employee accused of tainting Andrew's family's food, one Casey Diedrich. He pleaded guilty last year to violating the Nebraska Pure Food Act. He was fined $100.
Oh, my.
Bodily fluid, fined $100. Anyway, what did the employee or employees taint the food with? Was it spit and semen? Was it spit and feces? Was it spit and urine? Or was it phlegm and blood? So again, you have spit and semen, spit and feces, spit and urine, or phlegm and blood.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I don't really want to think about any of them, honestly, but...
That's the problem. Well, for me, like, I always go semen. But I feel bad. I'm just saying. I feel bad this guy, like, they don't need to poison the cop, but his kids, too. Like,
yeah.
Geez, man. But that seems like a lot of hard work on their part.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a double.
And I've never kept any around that long, but I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to explain it, but I'm going spit and urine.
Spit and urine for Tiff.
Sounds like a weird album
based on
title.
the fact that the kid got sick.
Yeah.
And the caller that we had the other day, who ended up in a ditch, and the fecal matter and the toxin.
Oh, yeah.
And how sick he was and was throwing up the entire day just from exposure.
Correct.
To that. I'm going to go spit and feces.
Okay, well, that's not much help, but thanks.
Well, what do you got?
Okay, I mean, what do you got?
What do you got?
I mean, I think that...
You don't even make a comment
a
yet.
couple of them just take, I would think that a couple of them just take too long. So I'm just going to go with the easiest one and go spit and urine.
Spit and urine.
Spit and urine. Okay,
Yeah.
So you're joining Ted on this one, Christina, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Okay.
a team spit and urine, yes.
We're going to find out what was in this family's food. Was it spit and semen, spit and feces, spit and urine, or phlegm and blood next?
That was a tease.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories by me on profile. This ugly story. Police officer, he won a lawsuit against a restaurant after something was put in his family's food. Someone was actually hospitalized because of the event. Question is, and they did bust the employee.
Yes.
He was fined $100.
That's it.
What was in the food? Spit and semen, spit and feces, spit and urine, or phlegm and blood?
And Christina, that is a question we asked you. However, let us start with our very own Miles Montgomery. Miles, you went option B on this, which was the spit and...
Feces?
Feces. Ah, yes. God damn it.
Almost thought I won.
No, I gotta make you feel bad. Correct. There we go. No, sorry, Miles. And then Christina, you agree with D. Ted Smith, and you went with the blood or spit and urine.
Spit and urine.
You are correct. Yeah.
I didn't feel confident in that.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices. Seth Meyers,
Okay.
the Jimmys,
Fallon and Kimmel.
Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. All these guys have teams of talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
So now CNN has launched a new streaming service, CNN Plus, which allows you to get news from CNN all day, all the time. Or as it's also known, CNN. Fallon.
CNN officially launched their brand new streaming service, CNN Plus. That's right. With CNN Plus, you can get news from CNN all day at any time. Or as that's also known, CNN.
This is interesting. Fellow talk show host Kelly Clarkson has officially changed her name to Kelly Brienne. Or as it's also known, Kelly Clarkson.
The Ted Smith.
Yeah. Tried to get us on that.
I tried.
That little talk show host.
Yeah.
Like, that's Ted.
And I was like, I'm going to piggyback it off of Fallon.
All right.
Kelly Brienne sounds dirtier.
Oh, yeah. Kelly Brown gonna give you some. She's probably like, no, I'm not. That is my name. Okay, Kelly Brown, whatever you say.
Is the lighthouse working? It appears the ports are open. FedEx just announced after more than 50 years, its founder and CEO is stepping down. On his last day, he'll be driven home, then thrown onto his front lawn.
Seth Meyers.
Come on.
Fallon.
Some business news. FedEx just announced that after more than 50 years, its founder and CEO is stepping down. Oh. Yep, on his last day, he'll be driven home and then thrown onto his front lawn.
Verizon customers have been receiving spam messages from their own phone numbers. It's weird when you get a text from yourself at 2 a.m. that says, "Me up?"
Fallon.
Seth. Fallon.
You guys see this? Apparently, Verizon customers have been receiving spam texts from their own phone numbers. It's weird when you get a text from yourself at 2 a.m. that says, "Me up?"
There's a lot of spam texts, man.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Yay.
Some of them, yeah. Most of them you can fish out, but some of them are just weird. Let's see. The NFL.
Never
now,
heard
obviously,
of it.
what's that?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So obviously last year, what was that? The divisional round when you had the Bills play the Chiefs.
Yes.
Right. Unbelievable game. It appeared the Bills had won. 13 seconds was too long. Squibbed the kick. So they've been talking about changing some overtime rules. During the regular season, the team that gets the ball first can end the game with a touchdown, which is what the Chiefs did against the Bills.
Correct.
So the Colts and Eagles proposed a rule change for all games, including regular season. But basically, the owners there wasn't enough support with all the owners, so they compromised and made it postseason only.
Right.
So basically, under the new rules, if the team are tied, each one gets the ball, then it becomes sudden death. The first team to score wins. I guess I just don't know. Like, I guess it's not that uncommon. It just seems weird to have different overtime rules for
Yeah, it does.
regular season and the postseason.
Okay, sure. So in the playoffs, Chiefs score a touchdown. The other team gets...
Correct. The Bills then...
will get the ball with an opportunity to score another touchdown.
Right. They would have to go down and score a touchdown.
And if that happens, then you just go and you do it again.
Right,
Until
but now,
someone wins.
now it's sudden death.
Now the
it
next
is
person
okay.
who scores wins.
Okay.
Right,
Even
that-
though the other team's getting the ball back. Who got it the first time.
Correct. The main thing is, I think people were just disappointed Josh Allen didn't get to jog back out on that field and, like, at least have a chance at it.
Sure.
And
I mean, I get it, but look, I don't care that they changed the rule, but it's like, of course you're upset, but that's what makes overtime, right?
right, and I get both sides of this, right? I saw Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, being like, look, you had 60 minutes to beat this team. You didn't do it.
There is that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. But also, I love college overtime and the fact you each get the ball from the 25 or whatever, and you can go down and score points. Like, it's fun. It's exciting. I guess my only thing is, like, I don't know. If you're going to do overtime, like, I feel like they should both at least touch the ball.
I do too.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
But,
yeah.
but you know, with that said, right, I mean, Mike will sit here and tell you, I mean, what's it, the Seahawks versus the Packers, right, in that NFC Championship game, right? They finally get it to overtime, and then they score right away, game ends, which is super exciting, right? Stephon Diggs had one a few years ago in the playoffs.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It is also amazing, though, like, sometimes you notice how certain athletes are that good.
That's
Right.
Step up, man.
Right. It's got to go to Diggs, you know, or like, it's got to go to Kelsey.
And that's what's amazing because the other team knows that too, and you still get them the ball and they still make the play.
Kels basically took over.
Right, Kels. That's right. Yes, Travis Kelce.
Oh, we're not calling him Kelsey anymore?
I'm probably going to call him Kelsey. We just found out a couple weeks ago it's actually Kels. But what's
You know
going
what?
to call?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, my last name's Smith. So, like, I really don't like people like, oh, they've been mispronouncing it. Like, all right. Like, I don't know. I don't care. And it happened to me Saturday. Somebody was just they were like making a joke about boring stuff. They're like, yeah, it's like having the last name Smith. I was like, God damn it. They're like, what's wrong, Ted? I'm like, that's my last name. And they're like, no, it can't be that plain. I'm like, it is.
They even make it worse. It can't be that plain. I mean, that's just boring, man.
As if you chose it. What's that?
I know
It can't be that boring. Like, come on, Ted, choose a better last name.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to change my last name.
What would you change it to?
Oh, man, I never thought about that. I thought about changing my first name.
Right, everyone thinks that, but they go, nah, change your last. You're still going to be Ted. What's the last name?
Hey, I'll just stick with the theme and go Johnson.
You went from Smith to Johnson.
Right? Like, dude, you didn't make it any more exotic? Like, no.
No. Nope.
I don't know, something you can easily spell. But you're right. I've never thought about changing my last name. I've only ever thought about changing my first name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I would just change the pronunciation.
I'd pick Abramowitz.
Yeah.
You don't look like an Abramowitz. I sure don't.
Yeah, well, that was the joke. I always said if I had a boy, like a kid that was a boy, I'd be like, Jamal Smith.
Jamal.
Here.
Right. No, I said Jamal Smith, sir. Here.
That's me.
Every time I go to Starbucks, if it's a new crew, because they ask for your name, it's always Agamemnon. Always. Yeah. And they always ask the same thing. How do you spell that? I figure it out. And they get very uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm kidding. My name is Steve. So like, oh, God, thank God.
Let's see. Obviously, everybody's been talking about the Oscars, but also on Oscar night, they have the Razzies.
Oh, that's right.
Right, which are the Golden Raspberries. They're given out every year for the worst movies that are out there.
Mm-hmm. I would actually rather watch that. For entertainment. I get what the Oscars are, and congratulations, everybody there. But as far as just, if you're going to televise it and it's supposed to be entertainment, you'd rather watch the Razzies. I mean, look at the Grammys, right?
They give them out, but I don't know if it's like a super real award show. Like, I want to say...
They don't have a show, but they started... I want to say Halle Berry.
Halle Berry picked one up.
She was like the first person, I believe, to like physically go get it. So, yeah, dude, I get it.
Thank you so much.
But I think as a result of that, they've expanded it a little bit. But like, I think it'd be an interesting thing to watch.
The main thing is that LeBron James can't stop winning.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's crushing it at the Razzies. And he's only in one movie.
And on the basketball court.
He won for Worst Actor.
Yeah.
Space Jam, A New Legacy.
He's not an actor.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like, I'm taking a shot at him. I like LeBron. But, yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough year for the Lakers. They've been injured and stuff. And then I think part of the reason he wanted to go away, and they did win a championship, was to make that movie and get that all done.
Sure.
And then, of course, it's like the Razzies like, yeah, the worst one. It's like, man, he's a bastard. It's not like, look. People love Space Jam when I was a kid because it came out when we were kids. But
it's a terrible movie.
Right? Nobody's ever been like, you know what's really amazing is Jordan has range.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's not even playing like a different character of himself.
No.
He was literally Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player on earth.
Period. Yeah.
Yep. Worst picture went to Diane the Musical. You know, it wasn't the best movie, but then they made it into a musical. It really sucked.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Bruce Willis like nominated for 8 different movies?
Well, he had his own category.
Oh, that's right.
And then the sad news comes out today that he's not doing very well.
Yeah, so Bruce Willis won worst performance by Bruce Willis in a 2021 movie, Bruce Willis Comic Sin.
They just picked the movie.
But the thing is, he was in like 7 movies. I think that was the amazing thing. They're like, look, we're not just making fun of him because he did a bad job in a movie. Like, whether you know this or not, dude put out like 7 movies in 1 year.
Yeah, and it's basically all the kind of the same stuff. Like, worst screen couple, LeBron James and Amy Warner, cartoon character. Let's see, worst remake, ripoff, or sequel, Space Jam, A New Legacy. Worst screenplay, Diane the Musical. So they pick a theme at the Razzies and stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, you see some movies you don't like, but it's rare. I feel like you see a movie you're just like, God, that was awful.
Right, it was just poorly made. Yeah, there's plenty of movies I don't like, but it's not that the movie itself's bad. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like vegetables. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with them. I just happen to hate them.
Correct. And then the other big drama that's going around that involves kind of TV and music, even though it's a country star, Eric Church. As I know him, Eric Effin Church. He was playing before...
He did what in church?
Playing before Kenny Chesney, the year I went to Taylor.
Ah, okay.
That's what his shirts say. He's got an F-bomb in there. Basically... He's a massive University of North Carolina fan, right? Mm-hmm. So he's canceling a concert in San Antonio, Texas, so he can go to the Final Four and see them play Duke. What you need to know is Duke and Carolina is probably the best rivalry in all of college basketball.
Easily.
But they've never met in the Final Four.
Right.
So it's a massive, massive deal. Coach K, any of these games could be the potential last game for him, as he's announced it's his last season. I've said this 1,000 times. Like, I respect Coach K. I get what he's done, built that program and everything, but the hell with Duke. Like, as a Maryland fan, like, I still hate him from when we were in the ACC.
Yeah, I hate Duke.
Yeah, like, can't stand him. But it's like, it become like a cool thing. Like people like Duke again. And I get it. They got a lot of players there. They got the kid from O'Day.
Right.
So, like, people are like, it's like, that's fine. I'm glad the kid from O'Day is doing awesome.
It's where they play.
But they're playing for Duke.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Steelers. No, I don't have a problem with any players on the Steelers. My problem is that they play for the Steelers. Yeah.
Right, it's like the Cowboys. Like, I'll always enjoy watching the Cowboys lose.
Right, even if you like the player, but if you're going to wear the star, watching you lose is fun.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is an absolute stud.
I'd take him in a
heartbeat. I love to watch that dude play football. I just hope the rest of the defense screws up. So
is it Micah or Micah, or do you still not care? Like with Kels?
Yeah.
You know what?
With him, I think you better.
I think I'd care. Sports tonight, CBS Sports. 6 o'clock, you got the USA versus Costa Rica. That's the World Cup qualifier. Basically, the U.S. has to not lose by 6 goals, so they qualified.
Huh. Guys,
I'm not going to say anything.
I know. This should be an easy ask. Okay. Should be.
It should. I mean,
should be an easy ask.
I mean, I'd be willing to bet money they don't lose by 6 goals. Plus, I saw you're seeing the line. Like, they have most of the studs in. I say go out there, score 2 goals early, call it a night.
Okay.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man in China has been living at the airport for 14 years after his family kicked him out. Meanwhile, a naked man jumps a fence at Chicago airport, showing everyone his butt and his kraut. Japanese government needs citizens to buy more milk to drink. Ohio man steals tons of sex toys and some for where he makes the stink. And a bride chokes out her mom on her wedding day. It's time for headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Hey, top story. We go to Chicago where a man tried to stop a plane. Police are still investigating about his intentions, but the man managed to hop a wire fence onto the tarmac and charged a private plane that was about to take off. To increase the drama, he began to strip his clothes as he ran towards the plane and tried to wave it down. He was eventually arrested and was indeed intoxicated at the time of the incident.
Good times.
Good.
Can anybody sanely just strip naked in public?
Well, he left his shoes on. The one thing you take off at the airport is your shoes.
Right. That's why I kept them on.
Well done,
Come
Miles.
on.
Oh, man. In other news, a man in Ohio was arrested for some stolen goods. We covered this a little bit earlier today. Police responded to a panic button pressed by the employee of a local adult store. They got to the scene just in time to find the perpetrator getting into his car about to make his getaway. He did admit to stealing the goods, and the officers gave a good and detailed report about the more than $300 worth of merchandise that he was making off with, including the $100 shapeshifter anal device.
Remember, it's inflatable.
Correct. A $68 vibrating ring.
Yeah.
An $8 3-pack of manhood rings.
But it's only $8 for 3. That's a deal.
Right. They're disposables.
One-time use, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of them you buy are. Some of them though you can still vibrate. They have little tiny batteries in them.
There you go. Boom. They got a little bit of life left.
It's awkward when you made eye contact with me to talk about those types of rings.
I know, but I had to.
I'm not going to break it.
It's like an electronic toothbrush.
You were working with your hands, Ted, and I'm drawn to those hands. An $11 universal. An $11 universal pump sleeve, which I respect the sleeve. Well done. Like, yeah, needs a new one. A $43 urethral sound trainer. Did we figure out what that was yet?
Have you ever seen somebody use a sound bowl?
No. Oh, like one of those metal bowls.
Yes, I think it's one of those things. Or it's like that little fork you tune stuff and you just put, it goes, yeah.
Creates a little hum.
That's what I'm assuming.
It is, let's see here. It's got the silicone plug, multi-beads.
And a $100 inflatable G vibrator.
It's funny, it says, have a question? I sure do.
I really, really do. And the $7, quote, stay hard donut rings.
That's just a dude from L.A.
They should serve that. They should serve that at Top Pot.
the stay hard donut ring?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, get one of those.
Odd story.
The problem is, though, I'm eating donuts at breakfast. I need one of those around 11 p.m.
Great, let me get a donut.
Little bit of vino's been passed around. An odd story out of the UK. A woman was taken to the hospital after nearly being beaten to death by her daughter, but it gets even better. It happened on her wedding day. The motivation isn't quite mentioned in the story, but the mother of the bride was one of the last to leave the wedding celebration along with her man and a friend of theirs. They went back into the reception to collect their friend and leave, but they found that he was being mercilessly beaten by the men of the wedding party. She interjected but was descended upon herself by her daughter, who pulled her by the hair and struck her multiple times in the face with her stiletto heel.
Damn.
Before putting her into a chokehold. Another member of the group broke up the violence long enough for the victims to get away. Sounds like heavy boozing during the celebration was the main culprit there.
Good times,
Not
man.
much of an excuse, but there you go. That is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you up next for the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for about 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.